National Assembly rules, powers and functions of committees, referred me to a number of them, including Section 227. Start with Section 56 of the Constitution. Then the National Assembly rules 227, I think, and others. So, but in essence, what the advice from legal is that when you refer matter to ethics, apart from what I said earlier on, you are also relegating your responsibilities as a committee to another committee of parliament. And the advice is that we grant or the committee continues with its matter on the minister, and which was a popular view anyway in the committee. So we will continue. I've already signed a letter applying for Tuesday morning from 9 a.m. till 1. It will be the minister. Others were going to summon them. The minister were not summoning because he has not defied coming. But Asisipe Solani has defied. He decided not to answer us. The other one, the chief of staff, has not defied. She was sick, will not summon. Ms. Ngwenya and the DG will summon them because both of them must come and explain this thing of our meeting being cancelled, not being cancelled, and flights to, to Gauteng and all of that. So the meeting will convene on Tuesday. I've already applied now. Hopefully, after you've done your constituency work on Monday, you'll fly in on Monday. We'll meet on Tuesday from 9 till 2 p.m. I will personally also speak to the minister, informing her that we've granted, I'll write to her, informing her that we have granted her wish. But I'll also personally speak to her, indicating that the meeting will sit on Tuesday at 9. So now we're moving on. The next part is going to be very short. We're going to, so after the resolution of the last meeting of the 18th, where you said we must ask the panelists to write back, I then consulted with legal, who said, in order for their letters to be admissible, something to that effect, they must read them into the records. So we then called them. They are going to read their letters into the records, and then I'm going to allow you to ask them, if you don't have a question on them about the role they've played, then don't ask a question, because if you ask them any other question outside of the role they've played on this thing, I'm going to protect them. I'm going to tell them they must not answer. You can't ask Advocate Terry Motau, for an example, why is he wearing a bow tie? I'm going to stop you. I want you to ask them specifically on why they're here. So because it's my duty and responsibility to make sure that we protect both our invitees and yourselves. So, but we are going to start with them taking oath first. They'll take oath. It will take 5 minutes or so. And then we'll ask Mr. Mabuza Ngubane to read his statement into the record. Then we are going to ask Advocate Terry. Then I'm going to note you to ask related questions. No political statements, related questions. These are not politicians. They've taken time, and I want to appreciate I know, Advocate Terry, you did write and said, I've not confirmed yet because I'm trying to clear the day for Friday, and you did. We really appreciate. We don't take it for granted that you're able to come. So are we ready with the oath for our people? Yeah, so let's take oath and then we'll take it from there.
Good morning, Mr. Mabuza Ngubane. I think we'll start with you. I've been asked by the committee through the chairperson to administer this oath. You have been invited, subject to the provisions of Section 16 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act 2004, to appear before the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, Science and Innovation, pursuant to its oversight responsibilities. Please be informed that by law you are required to answer fully and satisfactorily all the questions lawfully put to you, or to produce any document that you are required to produce in connection with the subject matter of the committee's oversight inquiry, notwithstanding the fact that the answer or the document could incriminate you or expose you to criminal or civil proceedings or damages. You are, however, protected in that evidence given under oath or affirmation before a house or committee may not be used against you in any court or place outside Parliament, except in criminal proceedings concerning a charge of perjury or a charge relating to the evidence or documents required in these proceedings. Please be aware that in terms of Section 17, subsection 2 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act, a person who willfully furnishes a house or committee with information or makes a statement before it which is false or misleading commits an offense and is liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 2 years. You are required to take an oath or affirm that the evidence you are about to give is truthful. You may choose to take the oath or the affirmation. Which one do you prefer, oath or affirmation?
I don't know the difference.
Okay, then it means we're not objecting to take an oath. If you can say after me, I swear that the evidence I shall give
I swear that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth, shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
Can you raise your right hand and say, so help me God?
So help me God.
Thank you very much. Okay. We shall be moving to Advocate Terry Mutau, SC. Advocate Terry Mutau, SC, you have been invited, subject to the provisions of Section 16 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act 2004, to appear before the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, pursuant to its oversight responsibilities. Please be informed that by law you are required to answer fully and satisfactorily all the questions lawfully put to you, or to produce any document that you are required to produce in connection with the subject matter of the committee's oversight inquiry, notwithstanding the fact that the answer or the document could incriminate you or expose you to criminal or civil proceedings or damages. You are, however, protected in the evidence given under oath or affirmation before a house or committee. You are, however, protected in that, evidence given under oath or affirmation before a house or committee may not be used against you in any court or place outside Parliament, except in criminal proceedings concerning a charge of perjury or a charge relating to the evidence or documents required in these proceedings. Please be advised that in terms of Section 17, subsection 2 of the Powers, Privileges and Immunities of Parliament and Provincial Legislatures Act, A person who willfully furnishes a house or committee with information or makes a statement before it, which is false or misleading, commits an offense and is liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 2 years. You are required to take an oath or affirm that the evidence you are about to give is truthful. You may choose to take the oath or affirmation. Which one do you choose, Advocate?
I'll take the oath.
Okay. Shall you then repeat after me? I swear that the evidence I shall give
I swear that the evidence I shall give
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
And can you raise your right hand and say, so help me God?
So help me God.
Thank you very much, Advocate Mutau.
Thank you very much, Legal. I'll start with you, Mr. Mabuza Ngubane. If you can just read the statement that you had written to us as per the instruction or the resolution of the meeting of the 18th of June, asking you to write to us on or before the 25th of June 2025, which you did write to us. Can you just read that statement into the record? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Chairperson and honorable members. I'm not gonna read the addresses, but my letter was written without any prejudice. It reads as follows. Dear Chairperson, Honorable Letsie, your letter dated 19 June 2025 regarding the above matter refers. I acknowledge and appreciate your correspondence regarding the above request, and I have attached here under the documents for your attention as requested. On the first question that required me to indicate the communication that was exchanged between the ministry and myself as the panel member, I've responded that on 10 March 2025, I received a letter dated March 2025 appointing me as the chairperson of the nomination committee for the selection of the members to serve as chairpersons of the accounting authorities of SETAs. A copy of the letter is attached as Annexure A for ease of reference. I did not write any acceptance letter as I viewed this as part of my role as Chief Director, SETA coordination in the department. And to my knowledge, there is no way the process of appointing SETA chairpersons could have been executed without my involvement or the involvement of my office. The Chief Directorate SETA coordination is and has always been responsible for coordinating and rendering administrative support and providing technical advice to the process related to the appointment of SETA boards, including the SETA chairpersons. For this reason, the above mentioned roles constitute part of my performance agreement and the work plan. The letter of appointment to serve in the said committee did not carry any peculiar meaning beyond just appointing me as an administration person or the functionary, which is part of my role as Chief Director, SETA coordination. Number two, I was required to indicate if I was provided with the terms of reference. No terms of reference were given with the appointment letter. It is for this reason that I believe there was no additional role expected of me than my ordinary responsibilities which are attached to my position. Number three, on whether there was any remuneration for the services rendered as the panel member. There was no additional remuneration that was given or promised or expected since the said appointment will not require any extraordinary responsibilities beyond my normal duties attached to my post, which is rendering administrative support and technical advice of the process as outlined by the legislation. Number 4, the number of meetings attended by me as the panel member. I did not attend any meeting. It's simply because I did not receive any invitation for the meetings. Paragraph 5 of the appointment letter that I received states that the date of the nomination committee meeting will be communicated to you in due course. So I could not attend any meeting because I was not invited to the meeting. Lastly, I reiterate that neither was I involved in setting up any meetings, nor screening the nominations of candidates for the SETA chairpersons. Thank you so much, Chairperson and honorable members.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngubane. I did share all the letters with members. And I knew on the day I shared them with them, I saw them on media. I know it was not you this time, but they were on the media. Somebody shared them with the media. Tatem Ngubane, if you can just forward to Tatem Kiza the letters, because you have them now. Thank you very much. Because that's where I come from in the school. We were very naughty. When you are new, they will call you Linyuere, so they say, you will say, oh, my new one. So I was thinking maybe you don't have because you are new in the committee. Advocate Terry, please read us your letter onto the record.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Chair, I'm going to be reading from the letter of response, which is dated the 25th of June, 2025. I must firstly apologize for some of the cut and paste in which one will see when you compare the first 5 paragraphs. Sorry, the first to the 6th paragraph of the letter in response to you, Chair, and paragraph 5 of Annexure C, which I'll deal with later. So the letter is supposed to be addressed to yourself, Chair, not the Minister. On 18 March 2025, I received a copy of the Minister's letter dated 15 March 2025, appointing me as a chairperson and setting out what assistance the Minister required, including the criteria to be followed, and the copy of the Minister's letter of 18 March is attached as Annexure 1 to the letter. And I point to paragraph 5 of the Minister's letter, which is Annexure A, in which the Minister stated that the date of the nomination committee will be communicated, and this I'm quoting to you, in due course. And following receipt of that letter from the Minister, I was then contacted by 2 people from the Minister's office. The one is Ms. Rulane Ngwenya, who introduced herself as the DDG from the Minister's office. And the second was Mr. Asisi Posolane, who informed me that he is the Minister's advisor. And the purpose of the 2 calls was to set up a preliminary meeting to deal with introductions and issues of logistics. Then subsequent to that, a meeting was arranged with Mr. Solani, at which he was in attendance together with Mr. Luvo Makasi. And during that meeting, Mr. Solani indicated that the term of office of the current incumbents, that is the SETA chairpersons, was going to expire on the end, by the end of March of this year. And for that reason, the process needed to be completed by, or at least before then. And my response to that was, it seemed impossible to achieve that task within that stipulated deadline, given what needed to be done. For example, the finalization of the composition of the independent committee or panel, determining how many applicants had been received, processes of shortlisting, etc. And if I can just pause here and just say, in response to that, what I was told was that the minister is likely to not accept the point that I'm raising next, which was following the point of indicating the impossibility of attaining or finalizing the task by the end of that month, given that we are already on 15 March at the time. I then suggested that perhaps it would be better if I consult with the minister with a view to ask her to consider extending the process by a period of a month. The response to that was that the minister was not available. She was in Japan at the time, but that my request would be conveyed to her and that Mr. Solani would revert to me regarding the minister's response. A follow-up preliminary meeting was arranged for Sunday, the 23rd of March at my chambers, which was meant to be attended by Ms. Ngwenya and Mr. Solani for purposes of an update on the process. And on the day in question, none of them pitched. I tried to get hold of them, but could only reach Mr. Solani, who informed me that he had an emergency that he needed to attend to in Cape Town. And Ms. Ngwenya reverted to me the next day by way of a WhatsApp message and tried to set up a call later that day, but it was at a time when I was not available. I did not hear anything further insofar as this process is concerned until I saw from the media reports that the process had been finalized and that the nominations and appointments had been made. And following the media reports and the minister's appearance before the portfolio committee, I received a letter from the minister dated 12 June 2025, raising certain questions and requiring a response by 16 June 2025. A copy of the minister's letter is attached as Annexure B. And from the minister's letter, I highlight and or quote the following portions. In paragraph 1 of the minister's letter, she states that in part, she says, I have received a written request from the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education per information regarding, and these are the important words, your participation in the selection and evaluation panel that assisted me in reviewing and assessing the nominations received for the appointment of accounting authorities per sector, education and training authorities. Then I quote paragraph 3 of the letter in which the minister states, as a result, I hereby write to advise you of my intention to disclose your identity and the details of your participation, which I have underlined for purposes of emphasis to the portfolio committee. And in reading this letter, and in particularly these highlighted portions, I could immediately ascertain that the minister was either not properly informed or was mistaken rather. And my reaction was to then respond to the minister per her invitation, because as I've indicated earlier, she had asked for a response by 16 June 2025. And on that day, I responded per Annexure C to the letter. And of importance from my letter is what I state in paragraph 11, which is that in my letter, I informed the minister that from her questions, she seems to be unaware that I did not assist her or her office in reviewing and assessing the nominations received for the appointment of accounting authorities per sector education and training authorities. I did not participate in this process. I neither received nor saw any information relating to the process, if any was followed. I also did not convene with any panel or panel members, if any were appointed. And I received no formal engagement from an attorney. Can I just ask the committee to note the fact that the requirement to be formally engaged by an attorney is an issue that I raised with the minister in my letter of response on the 16th of June, 2025. Then I continue in paragraph 12 to quote what I said to the minister in paragraph 6 to 8 of my letter, which is to say, based on the above, you should be aware that you never met with me regarding this process and that I never received any documentation relating to it. You also would know that you received no communication, report, shortlist, assessment, or recommendation from me. You further would know that the upshot of all of this is that you intended to appoint me to chair the committee, which intention never materialized. In the circumstances, I have no objection to you disclosing my written response to the portfolio committee. I'm available to discuss this matter with you telephonically and or to meet with you if you require further clarification, as it seems to me that you were not furnished with accurate and complete information. And following that letter, on the morning of the 17th of June, I received a telephone call from the minister. And this telephone call, you'll see from the chronology of events and also from the acknowledgement of the minister in subsequent correspondence that was exchanged. This telephone call took place before the minister provided her response to the committee later that morning. And on that call, the minister raised with me the following. She said, firstly, she thought I had been appointed, and to which I responded and indicated to her that as a practicing advocate, my appointment and engagement needs to be formalized through being instructed by an attorney. I also informed her that this was one of the issues that was outstanding that needed to be dealt with at the second preliminary meeting that did not happen. So this point speaks to the point that I had raised with the minister in my letter of 16 June, which is paragraph 11.5 of the letter that I'm reading. So it arises for the second time, i.e. the minister's unawareness that I needed to be appointed by an attorney, and the process is communicated to the minister and that it didn't happen, and it's something that needed to be dealt with at that follow-up preliminary meeting at which the officials did not pitch. Secondly, the minister said that people from her office tried to get hold of me without success and that I was apparently out of the country. I informed the minister that what she was told was incorrect and that no one from her office called me. I suggested to the minister to arrange a virtual meeting with those that are assisting her to deal with at least two of the issues that she had raised. Firstly, that my appointment was not finalized and that her team was aware of that fact. And secondly, to illustrate the incorrectness of what she had been told, that someone tried to call me without success. And thirdly, the minister asked if I object to my name being disclosed to the portfolio committee, to which I said I do not object. And I reminded her of my request to disclose my letter to the portfolio committee. Having told the minister that in light of my appointment not having been finalized, it makes sense to me as to why, A, the process proceeded without my involvement, and B, I received no invitation to participate in the process. But to my total shock and surprise, contrary to my letter and what I had told her in our telephonic discussion, the minister went on to respond to the portfolio committee in a manner that was inconsistent with the true facts. What I found inexplicable was the minister's decision to not convene the suggested virtual meeting to verify the contrary facts that I had raised in the letter and in the telephonic discussion, but to rather proceed and inform the parliamentary committee that I was appointed as the chair of the panel and that I did not attend any meetings. For these reasons, the minister's disclosure to the portfolio committee, insofar as my alleged involvement is concerned, was inaccurate. In addition, due to the fact that I was not appointed, I was not and could not be remunerated. For the same reason, I cannot assist insofar as the number of meetings held, if any, and the recommendation and or appointment process that was followed. Then I say, for purposes of completeness, I attach 3 further letters that were exchanged between the period 23 and 24 June 2025, marked D, E, and F respectively, which were exchanged between the minister and I, that clarify the true state of affairs and the fact that I was not involved in the process, i.e., I did not chair the panel and could not have been expected to attend meetings that I had no knowledge of and to which I was not invited. And perhaps just to highlight the important aspect that emanate from these 3 letters, if you go to Annexure D, it is the minister's letter dated the 23rd of June 2025. And in it, the minister says, in the spirit of transparency and professional courtesy, I write to clarify a misunderstanding concerning your involvement in the recalibrated SETA board chair's selection and recommendations for the appointment process. There was no malicious intention to tarnish your professionalism and social standing. I rely daily on information about activities in the ministry from a raft of advisors. Regarding your involvement in the process, I was not provided with all the information and I was not made aware that concluding your involvement will require formal engagement from an attorney. I humbly apologize for all the inconvenience this may have caused. And I became aware of this letter when I woke up on the 24th to media reports that were indicating that the minister had reached out to me, had tendered an apology, and that the matter had been resolved. So that's when I went to my computer on that morning and found that the minister had sent this letter on the evening of the 23rd. And that's what prompted me to write on the 24th. And this is Annexure E. And in it, you will see I refer to this letter that I've just read from the Minister of an apology. And I say in paragraph 2, in your letter, you indicate, among other things, that you were not made aware that concluding my involvement will require formal engagement of an attorney. And I say this is not what has tarnished my name and for which an apology will be necessary. If you are to provide any apology, it should be for the following set of circumstances. In my letter of 16 June 2025, where I was responding to your queries, I specifically informed you that my appointment was not finalized because I received no formal engagement from an attorney. You called on the morning of 17 June 2025 and you informed me that you were not aware that concluding my involvement required a formal engagement from an attorney. I responded indicating that your representatives I had spoken to and who I had met with, who had met with me during the preliminary meeting were aware of the requirement of an attorney's involvement. I also informed you that it was one of the outstanding issues that needed to be addressed at the subsequent preliminary meeting at which your representatives did not pitch. And you also raised the issue that your representatives had informed me that, or had informed you that they tried to get hold of me without success. I refuted the correctness of the assertion, and I suggested that you should arrange a virtual meeting with me and your representatives so that both issues, i.e. my appointment and non-availability, be addressed. These above events precede your statement that you issued subsequently on 17 June 2025, listing members of the panel to the portfolio committee and informing them that I chaired the panel, but did not attend any meetings. Your statement to the portfolio committee was incongruent with the objective facts that I had brought to your attention prior to the issuance of the statement, and was also inaccurate in that I could not have chaired a committee in respect of which I was not appointed or attend meetings to which I was not invited or even notified. Your apology is, in the circumstances, confusing insofar as it does not objectively engage with the above issue, which is the reason why I'm aggrieved, as it is the cause of tarnishing my image and standing in both society, my image and standing in society. To conclude, our WhatsApps of Thursday, 19 June, make it clear what I say is a deviation and incongruence between your statement and preceding events. I'd like to conclude this matter and put it behind me, and to do so on the correct facts. Then the minister responded per Annexure F, thanking me for the letter, indicating that she had read it with the seriousness and respect it warrants, and she acknowledges my right to express dissatisfaction with the way in which the events surrounding the SETA board chairperson appointment process have unfolded, especially as they pertain to my name and professional standing. Then the minister continues to say, I wish to express my unreserved and sincere apology to you, Advocate Motau, for the public reference made about you in the statement to the portfolio committee on 17 June 2025, in which it was erroneously stated that you chaired the advisory panel, a wish I had. You are absolutely correct that you were never formally appointed, or your appointment was and had not been finalized by the time I mentioned your name, and that the conditions necessary to conclude your involvement, including formal engagement via an attorney, were never completed. That fact, as you rightly point out, was brought to my attention in your letter of 16 June 2025 and during our telephonic discussion of 17 June 2025. So these are both events that precedes the minister's statement of the 17th. I also acknowledge that my representatives were aware of the outstanding procedural requirement, and I regret that this important context was not correctly reflected in the statement to Parliament. I take full responsibility for that misstep. I did not intend to mislead the Portfolio Committee nor to associate your name improperly with the process in which you were never formally engaged. I now recognize that the language used failed to reflect the objective facts and contributed to public misunderstanding about your actual role. I therefore wish to apologize clearly and unequivocally for any harm caused to your professional reputation, credibility, or public standing as a result of my statement. Can I just leave this about my professional standing and public record? As you have rightly indicated, it is in both our interest to put this matter behind us with the record set straight. I have also formally written to Parliament to correct the record. I'm still prepared to do more to clarify the matter to the Portfolio Committee and continuously correct the public record. I appreciate your forthrightness, professionalism, and your willingness to resolve this matter in the spirit of closure and factual integrity. Please accept this letter as my good faith and genuine effort to do just that. I wish to assure you that no malice or ill intent motivated the error. My intention was to seek wider expertise and input on a process that I believed required even greater transparency. Unfortunately, the procedural execution did not match the intention. Chair, I think this is where the process stopped. Otherwise, it was going to be a back and forth to seek further clarification. I think the objective, by and large, had been achieved. Issues of question marks that remain, I decided are not for purposes of the committee. That's why I left it at that with the minister. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Advocate Mtau. Members, you've heard the two members whom had received confirmation that the members of the panel, what they've said. I did indicate that I want to allow you to ask them questions that are directly related to what we're talking about. So I've allocated you guys 7 minutes each, which means it's 3.5 minutes to each of them. I put the watch there, you can see it. So when you see the watch, it's a good one. We agree a lot with Honorable Lonzi here today. So what we are going to do, questions that are speaking to what, one, they've read into the record, one, and two, questions that are related to the process. And then you'll make your own notes. Then you will, the minister has also written to us. So she will also read her version into the record. Then you'll then ask her questions next week. I have applied already. I've sent the application to the chair of chairs for the 22nd, which is next week, Tuesday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. because at 2 we've got a 3-line whip. So I've asked for, so I know Cape Town traffic is a problem, but let's try and come early so that we start on time. We don't complain about not having enough time next week, Tuesday. So that's what we're going to do now. I'll start on our
Sorry, Chair. I forgot or omitted to mention that I have a court appearance on the 22nd. I'm assuming further assistance will still be required by the panel or by the committee rather. I have a court appearance on the 22nd Chair, an agenda application that's set down. So, may I just be allowed to communicate with the committee through yourself to advise you on the developments of that matter, and perhaps if that matter is proceeding, we could find a way, to the extent that I'm required, to participate virtually or give written responses or appear on a different date. Thank you.
No, thanks, Advocate. You and Mr. Ngubane will not be needed on that day. That is why we're asking you to read your statements into the record now. We did not want you to go home and then come back. It's costly. We did not want you to fly to Cape Town. It's rainy season here, so imagine bringing you here in the cold, rainy season of Cape Town and bring you back next week. So you will not be required next week. It will just be those who are not here. So the same line, the same thing that I put. So you'll start Karabo, followed by Khakhau, followed by Pandaro. You are fine, but in that order, and then those of you who will not be saying anything, like Honorable Desiree, you'll just say, "I'm fine." Honorable, I put the time here to face you, so that, because I know you've got your own timers, but when they are saying 0, you act like you have not seen them. So there's this big one now in front of you. When it says tweet, tweet, this one doesn't make noise. So I'm going to just enter when it says 0. I can see it this side. Honorable Karabo.
No, thank you very much, Chair, and appreciate the fact that you are in a good mood. I appreciate it. It's rare. Let me appreciate the response received from Tebogo Letsie and Advocate Terry. It's highly appreciated. And I must also again reaffirm that indeed it's a demonstration for the respect for the rule of law. Because when we are requesting you to appear before the committee, it is for that. Maybe problem must start with you, Advocate. My apology in the process if I will sound a bit stupid. You are interacting with an NQF level 4 year. So my apology in advance. Advocate, in your interaction or your presentation, as in when you were dealing with the oath, you made an indication that you received a call from Ms. Ngwenya and Mr. Solani. Can you indicate when did you meet with Mr. Solani? Paragraph 3, probably of your, it says, following receipt of the above letter, I was contacted by Ms. Rulani Ngwenya, who informed me that she's a deputy director of the office of and Mr. Asipo, who informed me that the minister is an advisor to the minister. Paragraph 4 says, then I then met with Mr. Solani. I want to check with you, when did you meet Mr. Solani?
I'll need to check that date. But it would have been obviously after receipt of the minister's letter of I think the minister's letter is dated the 15th of March, but before the follow-up meeting that had been arranged for the 23rd. Because there's the minister's letter of 15, there is that meeting with that is referred to in paragraph 4, and then there's a follow-up meeting on Sunday, the 23rd.
All right, Advocate, let me also take advantage of the fact that you are an advocate. Like you always remind people that anything they say or do, it will be used against them. Can you kindly provide us in that written format, in fact, in written form, as to when? On paragraph 4, again, you made mention, I then met with Mr. Solani and Mr. Lovo Makas. That paragraph, you said that Mr. Solani has indicated that he's an advisor to the minister. Now, this Mr. Lovo Makas, who is Mr. Lovo? Do you have any understanding, or did he indicate What is his role in the department or what is his position?
Thank you. Mr. Makasi had indicated that he was assisting the minister. And that was the explanation for his participation and attendance at the meeting.
All right. Did he probably indicate assistance in which way? Personal?
No, the extent of the assistance or the role within the department was not clarified. I must indicate perhaps that I know Mr. Makasi. It was not the first time that I saw him. Mr. Makasi had briefed me as an attorney when he was practicing many, many years ago. He had also briefed me. He was a client when I was doing matters for the Central Energy Fund. So I had done matters for the Central Energy Fund at the time when he was there and even after he had left. So I know him and he's an admitted attorney. That's part of the reason why the issue of the formal engagement through an attorney had even arisen in that meeting.
So in your analysis and understanding, was Mr. Makasi there as a representative of the department who's assisting the minister, or Mr. Makasi was there as a person who facilitated this discussion in relation to the advice that you had given?
I would assume that he would have been there in that capacity of assisting the ministry, because otherwise he would not have known about the meeting being convened, the time and the date and the venue.
All right. What was the role of Mr. Makasi in that meeting? Now that this Mr. Solani, it's a matter that we'll have to attend separately, now that he blue-ticked us. According to you, what was his role there? Was he collecting sound? Was he preparing tea? Was he delivering documents? What was his role there?
Okay, thanks. I had indicated earlier that he had come there as part of the ministry's team that was there to meet me. I don't know, perhaps what could also clarify, and that's why I thought if the committee requires further assistance and participation, one would be prepared to attend here.
Fine, advocate. I'm
yeah.
left. It's fine. My apology, advocate. I'm left with 1 minute. I just want to.
Sure.
Can you confirm or take this committee into confidence that indeed the minister has acknowledged the fact that firstly, you are not appointed correctly, and she later acknowledged that indeed you were never appointed and never participated as the chairperson of the panel, as it has been made to be the public knowledge?
Thank you. Yes, I think Annexure F, when I dealt with it, that's where the minister says.
Fine, advocate.
Yes.
Have you met the minister in person?
No, I haven't.
Chairperson, I rest my case.
Thank you very much. It's the first time, Karabo, you finished with 15 seconds left. Honorable Zondo, I will give you after Honorable Khakhau because of your problem. Honorable Zondo comes from a very small town. There's no transport getting there, so he needs to. I'm joking. Honorable Khakhau.
Kelebo Modula Stulo, I would have hoped for more time, but thank you for the 7 minutes. Ndate Nguban, quickly, we know Ndate Motau's appointment letter is dated the 15th and was received on the 18th, and that since then, not only has Mengwenya, but also Ndate Solani and Ndate Makasi have sought to interact with him about his chairpersonship. You received a letter on the 10th of March, dated the 7th of March, appointing you for the same role that Ndate Motau was appointed to. Have you also been sought by Mengwenya, Ndate Makasi, and Ndate Solane?
No, I don't know Ndate Makas.
So you don't know him, but also neither did Solani and Ngwenya seek to engage you as the chair, as per your appointment letter. Just for clarity, say that, please.
I've never been engaged as a chairperson of the committee. Paragraph 5 says I will be invited. I was not invited.
I hear you. I don't want you to prejudge my questions to you. The letter of appointment that you received on the 8th of March appoints you as the chairperson, of the board, of the selection and in nomination committee. That's the same letter that Advocate Teremodau received, appointing him as chair. So what I'm trying to help ascertain here, which chair the minister will help to give clarity next week. Ndate Motau got his letter on the 18th, and it was dated the 15th. You received the same letter before him, dated the 7th, but you received it on the 10th. So I'm just trying to get the clarity here. If he was engaged after you by Solani, by Rulani Ngwenya, and by Makasi, did you get the same engagement from those three people? Yes or no?
No, I did not get any engagement.
All right, thank you. You as the Chief Director for SETA coordination, across the years, your job is to process the gazette, receive the applications, process them and deliver them to the minister accordingly. Ne? What I want you to explain quickly, without chowing my time, how is this process this year different from the other processes of SETA appointments that you've been involved in? Quickly, what did you do before that you didn't do this time?
Will you, Chairperson? Maybe let me articulate my role in the process. Previous years, I will get to the point clarifying what is different this year. The process goes like this. I have to draft the advertisement for the process, the gazette. Get the ministerial approval of the gazette. I do the procurement of the gazette, engaging with the government printers with regard to the publication. After that process, because I'm the person who is the custodian of this process, all nominations come to me, but there is a dedicated email, not my email address, a dedicated email, which I'm responsible for, in which nominations comes from. So after that, I have to ensure that after the closing date, all the nominations are captured so that I will submit that to the minister. And I must explicitly state that the legislation, I think specifically section 11, subsection 1A, subject to paragraph B, states that the minister is responsible to appoint the accounting authority of a SETA, the chairperson of the accounting authority of a SETA after consultation with the National Skills Authority. So with that, after processing all the nominations and getting all of them captured, my duty is to ensure that those are submitted to the minister.
Quickly, because of time again, sir. So my question is specific. I understand that's what you did. So is that the same thing that happened this time around with this process, or is it different? Did you follow a different process this year than the one that was previously followed?
The only difference this time around was the establishment of the panel And the establishment of the panel was recommended by myself, taking into consideration the audit findings of the previous process of appointing the boards in 2020 to 2025. My duty is to provide technical advice and guidance.
Oh, I can handle because you are chowing my minutes. So the difference is that there's a panel.
Yes.
What does that mean? Does it mean you now submitted? You explained that before you would gather, which in this case, you guys said there were 573 applications, and then you would take them to the minister. This time around, you're saying there's a panel. So who did you hand over the nominations to this time around?
Following the minister's request on 16 January 2025 at 10:20, I submitted a nomination report of the SETA chairpersons via the email to the minister. And again, I'll tell you just now. Again, on 18 January 2025 at 12:05, following the minister's request, I submitted a master list of all the nominations to the minister via the email. This time around, I had highlighted all the candidates with NQF level 8 per the advert or per the gazette. That was also on the minister's request. Again, on 10 March 2025, at 1400 hours, 26 minutes, I submitted a spreadsheet or a master list of the nominations to the minister via the email.
Thank you. Honorable Zondo.
No, thanks, Chair. I'll start by Chair saying that the response from colleagues here, it will be much better if every role player in this process was present, because everything will be clear. It's good that Mr. Ngubane got the records written down, of which those records will help us to point out where they did go wrong. So I'm asking, requesting from you, Chair, to say that understanding the character of the people that will be meeting next time, I think both these gentlemen, we need them in that meeting. It may seem unfair to them, but for this process to end that day, I think we need them with the information that they have. Because now, you know, this information that Mr. Ngubane is providing opens another page of the process and everything. I'm tempted to say that, in fact, on our letters to you, we requested the chairperson that be provided with all the document of the proceedings. I think this is what Mr. Ngubane got, the proceedings. We'll see where he left off and where the ball dropped, you know, because now it's clear that the process started as usually, but somehow, and we'll come to understand why even he, Mr. Ngubane, proposed that, suggested that, or advised that there be a panel, and what is the effect of a panel. And in his proposal to the minister, or advice, he advised that people who comprise of that panel, what kind of characters or professionalism that is required in that panel, because that's where we are getting a problem. But because now when we've opened this information, according to you, did the panel do its work?
I don't know.
I understand your answer where it's coming from. You are part of the department, but if I may ask from you, advocate, after the discussion that you had with Ms. Ngwenya and Solane, do you think the panel had meetings to discuss this name?
The nature of the question is difficult. And the reason why that is difficult, and I'm trying not to say yes or no. The reason why it's difficult is if you are approached with a view to be appointed as part of the process, and you are told that you'll be informed of the dates when the committee is going to sit, and that does not happen. You don't know if the committee was appointed, like the full panel was appointed. You don't know whether the panel met and the panel did any job, and if so, what did the panel do? So that's the nature of the difficulty. And I think that's what I understand to be the answer there. So then I expanded a bit because I thought perhaps just to do justice to that.
Advocate, from the day the meeting that you were supposed to sit and appoint you, and the day of the outcome of the meetings of the panel, how many days?
Maybe let me.
Thanks. Yeah, Chair, I think.
Maybe let me intervene. Both gentlemen, they've said they did not attend any meetings. So they will not know from the day of appointment to the day of the meeting unless you're asking about another meeting. But on the...
Maybe get me correct, Chair. I'm asking that there was a meeting that was supposed to sit, which will involve advocate. That didn't sit, where he said they didn't pitch. And the day of the outcome of the panel, when they said now it's appointed, I'm trying to count days against the work that should be done by the panel. And that will tell us that if you've done your work you in this time, can you do it or not? That's what I'm trying to get. That's why I'm asking the days in between.
Yeah,
maybe it's clear now.
Yeah, so the meeting, the follow-up meeting was supposed to be on the 23rd of March, according to the letter. And the appointment of SETA chairpersons was not officially done because it was leaked on the 6th and 7th on the 6th of May, and then on the 14th of May, we had a meeting where Honorable Lonzi was taken out of the meeting for trying to disrupt our meeting. And then the unappointed chairpersons were then withdrawn on the 15th of May at night, 15 May 2020. So he will not, they were never appointed. Well, they were because the letters, the withdrawal, the one that we saw on social media was the appointment were done on the 9th of May. But like I said, I have a responsibility to protect them from being asked questions they were not part of. So in his letter, he says he was never part of that process. So asking him the time frame between the day he was supposed to meet and the day they were appointed, it's not fair on them, because he would not know who was appointed when he was not part of the process and when those people were appointed. So I thought I must just interject, Honorable Zondo. I stopped your time so that I'll give you time to ask the right questions to the panelists. You can continue asking the right questions.
No, Chair, thanks. But there was a point that I was trying to drive to. But as you are saying that with your comment, then I will leave that. But continue requesting that even if I'm not part of the meeting later, please look at the matter to call again these gentlemen, because they are very informative and they'll be helpful into the committee in order to get to the reality of the events in terms of, because advocate said that he proposed that the time be extended before the final, because he knew that with the time frame at hand, it won't be possible to reach what is desired to know. So that's why I was asking that question. I was trying to go to that to say what method did they use to reach to the stage of appointing, whereas the time frame was against them. But thanks, Chair. With the hope that my request would be adequate to. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will consider your request. So from what the advocate was saying, is that when he was approached mid-March or early March, he indicated that, or they indicated to him that the SETA boards are expiring on the 31st of March, and they wanted to appoint by that period. He then indicated to them that this time frame that you have is not practical. If we are to do a good job, we need to postpone or extend the time frame. So that's where where he comes from with his letter. If you go through it, and also I think just to clarify why Date Mabuza said what he was saying there, on number 4 of his letter, he says, "I did not attend any meeting since I did not receive any invite." So when you ask him, do you think the meetings or the panel was successful, and he says, "I don't know," that's where it comes from. That I've already responded that I did not attend any meetings. I did not attend any meeting. So Datem Kize, I'm going to give you now.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to pass to my colleagues because I think the statement was clear for me that they were not involved in any way, shape, or form. But as we move forward, if we find that there was involvement, of course, we are under oath. We'll then deal with them at that point. But the message was quite clear from both of you, gentlemen, that you were not involved. That's what I'm taking for now, Chair, as I sit down.
No, very progressive. Thank you very much. I think I must arrange a coffee. Was it tea or coffee, Honorable Lonzi? I must arrange coffee between you and Honorable Khakhau so that at least when it comes to time, you are aligned. Honorable Ngubane?
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. I think you saw my colleagues, he said he passed his time, which means, Chair, I have 14 minutes. I don't know whether it works like that. He did it. No, this is MK's time. He said he passed it to me. So, Chairperson, in concurrence with my colleagues previously, it's clear, Mr. Mabuza, this time around, this is not a new process. It happened at the time of Professor Hlengiwe Mkhize. It happened at the time of Dr. Naledi Pandor. It happened at the time of Dr. Blade Nzimande. So according to me, I just wanted to confirm, this is the only first time that the process of appointing SETA board chairpersons, we were not part of it.
Through you, Chairperson. I have performed my administrative duties, but I was not part of the panel. So if talking about being part of the panel, I was not, but the administrative duties relating to this process, I've performed them. Those are my responsibilities.
Okay, I think, Chairperson, I will just, that was my only question from Mr. Ngubane. I think I will pass that because it's clear to me. This time around, his name was used on the letter to be chairperson, to be everything, but he was not part of the process. I'll come back to Advocate Matau. Advocate Matau, what do you understand by the term recalibrate or recalibration?
When you recalibrate, as I understand it, that's when you do the process anew with new elements into what had been done previously with a view to achieve improvements and the objectives that are set out by the enabling legislation that informs the process that you're undertaking.
Okay, thank you. So do you understand the second letter of the minister that he's saying now he's appointing you for the second time now? Because it means when he says he's recalibrating, it means there was a process that happened before, which you were not part of, but you were appointed as a chairperson again, second chairperson. And now this second letter, it says you are appointed again to recalibrate. Does it mean now you are appointed for the second time now of this process of appointing the SETA board chairperson?
And no, I wasn't appointed for the second time. And I was also unaware, at least until today, I didn't know that somebody else had been appointed as a chair for this process. No, but sorry, maybe let me, perhaps let me just.
Chairperson, they're interrupting my questions. Can you protect me?
Yeah, sorry, perhaps let me just say, I don't know if the initial appointment was revoked or not, because it's clear you can't have two appointments. If you've appointed the one, you've got to revoke that initial appointment and appoint the second person. So I'm not sure, I didn't know about this process, but assuming that had been done, if recalibrating is in the sense of appointing a new chair in the place of the one that had been initially appointed, I would not have read it that way because I didn't know that there was another chair that had been appointed one, or I had never been appointed by the minister as a chair and subsequently appointed. So recalibrating, I didn't understand it that way.
Okay, thanks, Advocate. Let me assist you. Minister always started to use the second process of appointing SETA board chairperson as recalibration, which means the first process did not go well, it failed. When she uses recalibration, she's saying there is a second process now of cleaning the first mess. I'm assisting you on that one, which means on the second letter where she responded, she's saying there is a second process now of redoing the process, which means according to her, somewhere you are still part of. Do you agree or do you not agree on my sentiment?
On that postulation, and if that is what the minister intended to convey by recalibrating, it would not be correct. I've given my understanding of what I understand recalibration to be, but because as the committee, you know the facts better than I do, if that postulation is what was placed before the committee and what was intended to be conveyed, I do not agree with it.
Okay, thank you. My next question, when the two gentlemen comes to meet you with a guy by the name Mr. Luvo Makas, was there any questions when the two of them meet that Mr. Luvo Makasi posed on you, or what sentiments did he said, just specifically him?
Thanks for that question. I realize that perhaps even the questions that came from, I think it's MP Karabo, if I got the name correctly, are posed on account of something that I omitted to mention here, because I didn't think it was really an issue for me, because I was focusing on my involvement and everybody knowing it needed to be finalized through an attorney, etc. But I realize now that perhaps there is just something that I ought to mention here, and it might just settle some of these things and give context to Mr. Makasi's appearance at the meeting. You would appreciate that the minister's letter can't just come from the blue. The minister can't just send you a letter appointing you, and then it lands in your email. Oh, I mean, I took that for granted to say there would have been prior engagements. So that's not where I focused. But how I got to know about this process and the minister's letter landing on my email is that Mr. Makasi initially contacted me. Like I said, it's somebody I know. Said, the minister wants assistance. The minister is looking to appoint an independent board or panel, sorry, not board, panel, to assist her with the appointment of chairpersons of SETA boards. And I mean, given the history of the SETA boards, etc., good governance, so something which is close to my heart. I said, then he said, would you be willing to assist in the process? I said, sure, I'll be willing to assist. So that is how the letter lands from the minister. And at that time, I mean, I'm not questioning, because that's not the issue for me, what role is he playing with the minister or in the minister's office or the department. I mean, I take everything to be above board. There's nothing untoward there. And hence, even when he appeared at the meeting, it wasn't an element of surprise. But there are no questions that he was asking in relation to that. It was mainly Mr. Solani that was speaking, and my request was when I conveyed it, like the letter says, it was Mr. Solani who was going to convey to the minister and revert to me on what the minister was saying regarding an extension of the time period. I hope that clarifies.
No, it really does. It does, Chairperson. I think, Chairperson, I'm done. So it's clear, Chairperson, a lot of questions needs to be asked from the people who are absent. And there was people who were not working for the department, not even hired by the minister, but who were running the process, especially the name of Mr. Luvo Makas. Thank you very much, Chair.
No, thanks. Before I give you honorable source, I'm an expert of Google now, so I just Googled the word recalibrate, because there's something that you've said, and I wanted to check, because you said recalibrate means cleaning up the mess. Maybe that's the, I guess we've got different dictionaries. But the one that, the one that I was referred to here says, to recalibrate means to adjust something again, often a measurement, or a way of thinking, to match a new and different standard. It implies change or correction to bring something back into alignment or to adjust to a new set of circumstances. So in this instance, there was no admission of anything called a mess. It was just to correct. So according to this Google. It is to correct and so that tomorrow we don't live here and say, members said, the minister said, there was a mess. There's no such. So I thought I must just correct that. Honorable Souls.
Mr. Mngubane, did the minister lie when she said you participated in the selection and evaluation panel that was created to appoint SETA board chairpersons?
I don't know whether she lied. I don't think I'm in a better position to say she lied or she did not lie. But I did clarify my role. I don't think I will be doing justice to the honorable members to say what I don't know. But what I am saying about my role is the truth. I'm not lying.
If I have to believe you, I'll rephrase. You saying to us, you did not participate, correct?
That is correct.
The minister says you did participate, correct?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Who's lying?
I know that I'm not lying, but I don't know whether she's lying or
Okay,
not.
it's okay. So if you not lying, because remember now, for the record, you are saying that you are not lying under oath. Now, about you, is the minister lying about you participating?
I will repeat. It will not be fair to say she is lying because that is not what I know. I am only saying what I know about myself. I have indicated that I did get a letter of appointment. Paragraph 5 of that letter, dated 17 March 2025,
Okay,
states
Mr.
that
Mngubane,
you will
sorry.
be invited to the meeting.
No, you can't do that to me now. No? Let me rather put it, what would be fair? How would you describe what the minister has done concerning your participation? How would you describe that? What would you call it? I would call it she lied about you. What would you call it?
Honorable member, I don't think I'm in a position to say my minister lied. I work for the department.
Okay, but what did you do?
I think I will kindly request to say what I know.
Just tell me how you define it. I'm saying she's lying. Based on your version of testimony, you are now saying you're not going to say that she lied. It's fine. What did she do? What would you use? What word would you use?
I don't know.
You don't know what she did. All right. Mr. Advocate, did the minister lie when she said you have been appointed chairperson of the selection panel for SETA board members and you did not participate or attend any meetings?
Let me first answer your question and then I'll deal with the contextual issues after. If the sole question is whether on the sequence of events, i.e., if...
Advocate, please bring the mic closer to your mouth.
Oh, sorry. If one takes the chronology into account, i.e., by the 17th of June, at the time when the minister issued her statement indicating that I had been appointed and that I chaired the process but did not attend meetings. At that time, the minister, as she acknowledges in Annexure F, that she had been told by me in the letter of 16th June that I did not chair because no attorney appointed me. And if the conversation on the 17th, before issuance of that statement, which she acknowledges in Annexure F, that fact was also brought to her attention. Was there any basis for the minister to say that I chaired and was appointed and did not attend? No, there was no basis. I mean, it's now admitted. So if then the question is, was that statement truthful by the minister on the 17th? No, it was not truthful.
Did the minister lie?
The lawyer in me would want to give the minister a benefit of a doubt to explain whatever it is that she did. But if what I'm saying is true, what the minister said is not true. In other words, they can't both reside or they can't both coexist.
Is it plausible for me to say, when you say what the minister said is untrue, is it plausible for me to say she lied?
It's open to you, honorable member, to say that. And let me just say,
just because of my time, advocate,
yes.
How would you, as an advocate,
yes,
what would you call an untrue statement? Would you call it a lie?
Yes, I would.
Is it a lie?
Honorable member, I say it with the understanding that the minister will still explain what she did. And I understood why the minister needs to be here. I don't want to have to speak with in circumstances where the minister can't explain.
Okay. Thank you, advocate.
Yes.
I raise chairperson.
Thank you very much. We don't have transfer of minutes yet. Where do you get that from? We don't have that there. We don't have Honorable Lonzi.
No, thank you, Chair. I don't think I'll be long, because I think the important meeting is when we also have the minister here. Mr. Ngubane, how long have you been the Chief Directorate of the Coordination of SETAs?
I was appointed as a Chief Director in 2022.
And how many years have you participated in this process of appointment of SETAs?
Since 2011, when I joined the department.
So how many SETAs would you say you've contributed in appointing? Maybe 4 or 5?
All of them.
Have you ever been sent an appointment letter for you to participate in this process?
No, I've never been sent the appointment letter. The reason this time around I was sent the appointment letter, I think it was...
No, don't tell me the reasons. I've got little time, with respect, sorry.
No.
So you when you were giving us your account, you said you didn't find anything peculiar with the process. Is that true?
I said I didn't find anything peculiar with regards to me executing my normal administrative duties and providing technical advice in the process.
Did you find it peculiar that since 2011 you've been involved in this process of SETAs? You were then appointed in 2022 to be the Chief Director of the SETAs. And you've been doing this process. I mean, you explained it to us. You screen, you get names, you send to the minister, you do all of that. And then in 2025 or 2024, you get a letter appointing you to do a process that you've been doing since 2011. Did you find it peculiar that you received that letter?
Let me explain, Honorable Member, that I was asked the question as to what became different with the current process. What is different?
No, that's sorry to cut you again. That's a question of Honorable Karabo. I'm not asking you about what is different with this process. I'm saying to you, because you said there was nothing peculiar about this letter because this is the work that I've been doing anyways. And you're quite correct because you have been doing this work since 2011. You did it so well that you were even given a position in 2022 as the Chief Director of the Coordination of SETAs. It's your job to gazette, to take out the invite, to even speak to the printers in Parliament, to take names and submit the names to the minister. That's your job. You said there's nothing peculiar. But I ask you again, since 2011 and even in 2022 up until now, you have never received a letter appointing you to be a chair or to be a member of this particular process. Do you find that to be peculiar?
Honorable Member, let me indicate that there was no panel, all these other terms of the previous boards when they were appointed. That is what I raised. How
Maybe, sorry, Chair, my question is not being answered, but let me try a different angle. The former Minister of Higher Education, Minister Blade Nzimande, have you ever worked under him in the process of SETAs?
Yes.
Has he ever sent you a letter to appoint you to be a chair or anything of a SETA?
No.
How did he usually appoint chairs of SETAs?
The process that I articulated, in which after the capturing of the nominations and they are submitted to him for consideration, he is empowered by Section 11 of the Skills Development Act to apply his mind.
So before this process, you would go, you'd gazette, you'd send out the invites, you do the screening, you do all of that, and then you go to say, Minister Blade Nzimande, here are 100 people that I think meet the most basic requirements. And then he'll just be sitting somewhere in his office or in his house and say, out of these 100 people, I'm just going to choose 21 arbitrarily. Is that what happens?
Yes, the previous process was run like that because the Act empowers the minister to make the appointments.
No, thank you. So, since 2011, you have never received a letter appointing you to undergo this process. Why do you not think it's peculiar? Okay, do you think it's new?
Can you repeat the question, ma'am?
I'm trying, maybe my problem is that perhaps it's the word peculiar that me and you are not finding each other on. Because I don't understand why you would not say this is peculiar, because you're saying you've been interacting with this process since 2011. You come in 2022, you're a chief director of SETAs, you do all of this, you've never been sent any letter. Yet you're saying it's not peculiar. So I'm saying perhaps the problem is English. Is it a new thing that you are being given a letter to do a process that you're supposed to be doing anyways?
It is not peculiar to expect.
No, I've moved away from the word peculiar because I can see that you and I are not going to find each other on. Is it new? It's different. It's never been done before.
There's never been any appointment of the panel. Hence, I was not appointed as a panel member before.
No, I'm saying the letter. You receiving the letter.
Yes,
It's never happened before.
Yeah.
So typically when you send the names, this is my last question because I don't have time. When you send the names to the minister, do you Blade Nzimande, you follow up on when are these people going to be appointed, or you just wait for them to conclude the process and then they appoint?
No, I don't follow up.
So when you were sent a letter saying we're going to have some meetings to undergo this particular process, which you usually do, did you follow up to say, Minister, you sent me a letter that I'm being appointed to this panel to do these SETA things, which is my work anyways. But 2 weeks have passed, 3 weeks have passed, 4 weeks have passed. No one is calling me about a meeting. And I'm the chief director of SETAs. I've been sent a letter here. I can see people are saying meetings are taking place. You're not worried maybe when 4 or 5 people are entering a room, hey, perhaps that's the meeting of the SETAs that I should have been participating in. Were you not concerned at any point that you were not part of those meetings or whether or not those meetings were happening?
I did not make any follow-ups to the minister because when the appointment letter says we'll be notified, we'll be invited to the meetings, I expected that to happen. That it did not happen, but I did get the list of names that must be appointed.
No, thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much. Honorable Governor.
Thank you, Chair. I will not be long. My other 3 minutes I will give to Whip. So you will take my other 3 minutes, Whip. Are you done, Lons? No, now I only have 2 or 3 questions. The first one, we have been running around trying to find the difference with other panels or other processes and this one. When you received the letter that you will be appointed to execute this duty, it is odd to me because this is part of your everyday work. When you didn't, or when did you discover that the panel is done with its work and you were not part of it?
With the receipt of the list of 21 candidates, that to me is an indication that something has been done.
And what did you do about it? You have now discovered that it has been done without your involvement as the chief executive director of this process. What did you do about it? How did you make your follow-ups? Because this is incumbent upon you to be part of this panel. Now you are not part. How are you going to account for it in terms of your work schedule? What did you do about it?
Honorable Member, I don't think it is for me as the official to question the minister who he or she appoints as a panel member. And whether, I don't even know whether there was a deputy chairperson for the panel. For argument's sake, if the panel was appointed, there was a deputy chair. I didn't know any other panel members. It could be possible that if I was appointed and the deputy chairperson was appointed, the meeting could proceed without my involvement.
In your own understanding, what does that say about the integrity of the process that was followed? Just in your own understanding, as an academic, as someone who has been in the field, what does it say about the process? Coming down to the names that were handed or you found at your desk? Because it looks like you just got them at your desk, presented to you.
Assuming there were panel members who sat and deliberated in processing the nominations, the process could probably was done. But as I'm saying, I don't know other panel members. I was handed my own appointment letter. I don't know whether there was a chairperson or any proxy to the panel members. But I couldn't question the minister or say, who else did you appoint? When it is explicitly said, you'll be notified, you'll be invited to the panel meetings. I expected that to happen. It did not happen.
In your own understanding, Chair Dikusel, in your own understanding, maybe, Okanye, can you put us into confidence? Because the office is being run by you, not by the minister. Every detail or every CV and qualification requirements that was going to be run in the office, there must be archives. Do you have any archives presented to your office of meetings, set minutes, where we sign attendance register? Do you have any of the panel that said, we understand fully that you were not part of the panel, but I do believe with my little knowledge that it should be given to office for archives purposes so that if anything arises, we do have minutes, we do have a register that was signed. Do you have any in the office? Because this is directly to your department.
Not yet.
Maybe you can try and explain to me the difference between not telling the truth and lying. Because seated here, I see a lot of things that are not being told, and those that are told are not the truth, assisted by the advocate in the house. Maybe you can differentiate for me. I don't want to say go to the something that was once referred to. I don't want to say that, but can you give me the difference between you saying you can't answer a simple question of saying, do you believe that Yanga lied or she told the truth? Because this details what you were part and not part of. If I've said I've met you outside and we've spoken, and you come in this room and you say, no, we did not meet, I doubt that is any offense in the country, because you are just clarifying your side of the story that I was not part and parcel of this. So any person who said I was part and parcel of the situation has lied. So what is the difference between you saying, no, the minister lied, no, the minister told the truth? Why don't you just say one word that puts you out of this misery? Because the only thing holding you to account now is because you do not want to say, no, she misled the house. No, she told the truth. I was part and parcel. Because if you are saying you were not part and parcel of the house, you are literally saying she has misled this house. What is the difference between the two terms that makes you not want to respond?
No, I believe the minister will also come and present herself, and her presentation will enable the committee to determine whether she lied or not. I don't know I don't know the details of what she will say, but I only know what I'm saying, that it is not true that I was part of the panel. And I've explained my role in the process. I've done that. I did not participate as a panel member.
Chair, I'm done.
Yeah,
If it's not true what we had, then the truth is what we know.
Chair, I don't know, because there was also an invitation that I should chip in.
Yeah, let's hear.
If it's necessary. I think let me just clarify this thing of lying. You heard earlier on when I said, if my inquiry to the minister was whether she lied or not, I would have asked other questions. But because that was not the purpose, that's why I said I stopped where I stopped. And let me give an example why there's a difference between taking it to lying and what the objective facts now reveal. It is one thing that is clear, given where we are now, is I said in my case, given the events of the 15th and the 16th, which is that the minister knew that I was not appointed and that there was no attorney that formalized the process. When the minister said on the 17th, after the conversation, after the letter, that I was appointed and I chaired, you can at least take away 3 things from that. The first is there is no mistake that was made by the minister. That one is clear. 2, there is no misunderstanding. At the end of the conversation on the 17th, but before disclosure to Parliament, there is no misunderstanding about whether I had been appointed or not, or whether there was a need to formalize my appointment through an attorney or not. All those had been clarified prior to that. So there's no room to say the minister was mistaken. There's no room to say the minister misunderstood the process. And the third thing is, if you're talking about misleading, which is something different from a lie, when the minister knows all these facts and says, I chaired, I was appointed, I chaired, I did not attend, that's misleading. But when you're talking about lying, lying is an intention to say, well, then why did you do it? Knowing these facts and knowing that these facts are incongruent with the true objective fact, which is not what the purpose of my engagement with the minister was. And that is why I was saying, I can't say she lied when I didn't inquire as to the motive. Why did she then intentionally state facts that were incongruent with what she knew at the time? That's what I did not know. But if that's what I was searching for, then I would have had to ask her. And that's why I said, when I got to this, I thought the objective had been achieved and I'm not going to follow up, because that was not what I was looking for. I was looking for my involvement as said in the public. Once she says, you told me on the 16th in the letter, you told me in the conversation, this appointment was not finalized because you were not appointed by the attorney and my staff knew. That's all I needed for me to clarify what was in the public domain, which was inaccurate. So let that be understood. If it assists at all, why the question of the motive was not interrogated. I assume that's for then your processes and what is it that you want to achieve. Then why? Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe this will assist as well. It's very brief. One question. Chief Director Mabuza, would you say I'm correct if I say you did not participate in the process as the chairman of the panel, but you did participate by virtue of executing your normal duties?
Yes.
Thank you.
Chairperson, if you would allow, based on the explanation from the advocate for me.
Hold on. Yeah. Van der Walt.
Chair, thank you. With the back and throw questioning, I want to ask the following to the Chief Director. Do you believe in any way that your answers given to members' questions today might affect your employment status in the department?
That is very possible. And that does not, I don't know, but that is possible, because if what I am saying is incongruent with what others believe, and then there's a disagreement, and we are talking about me as the official, the minister, inverted commas, is my employer. So if the sequence of events of what transpired as I am presenting, and to the best of my knowledge of what happened with regards to my role, that obviously means we are in disagreement. So with regards to my career, I don't know.
No, thank you for that, and seeing that you are honest after taking an oath. I appreciate that. And then would you say that the applications that you delivered directly to the minister, if I understood correctly, was it copied to the DG as well?
I'm checking my records, Honorable. The one that I submitted to the minister on the 16th of January 2025 at 10:20, I did copy the Director General.
Thank you, Chair. So on that same email, he was CC'd.
Yes.
Thank you. And Chairperson, I would then request that we get a copy of what was forwarded to the Minister and the DG. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Law.
Thanks very much, Chair. Hey, it's a difficult one. Ndanunguban. Oh, on the 30th of May, when you appeared in Parliament, you did say that you are not involved in the process. And today you made a clear reference, and I want to take you to maybe to try and clarify. When you are a chief director and part of your role or your KPIs propels you to deal with certain things, you deal with administrative and technical advice. That means in your compilation of the documentations, I want to check, firstly, who did you give your administrative compilation documentation to when you were dealing with the process? And then two, why did you say that you are not involved to Parliament on the 30th, where else you were involved when the initial process of compiling the administrative?
The question, Honorable Member, that was asked by Honorable Khakhau on the 30th of May was whether I was involved in setting up meetings, screening the nominations. Not receiving the nominations, screening the nominations. That is what I understood it to be the question. And I understood the question to be asking about my involvement in the panel proceedings, which I responded, no, I was not involved. But as for my administrative role, I believe I also said, because she firstly asked me to explain my duties as the chief director. I did indicate that I'm responsible for providing administrative duties as well as providing technical advice in the process. But when I said I was not involved, I was specifically referring to my involvement as a panel member. I hope and wish that can be understood in that context. There are two things. There is my role as the chief director, and then there is the panel, which I was not involved in. I said, I am responsible for performing the administrative duties and also providing technical advice in the process. I also wrote, responding to the chairperson, the last paragraph, I said I did not attend any meeting since I did not receive any invitation for the meeting. Paragraph 5 of the appointment letter states that the date of the nomination committee meeting will be communicated to you in due course. I was not invited to be part of the panel. Yes, I was appointed as a member.
Thanks, Nadenguban. When you are chief director of SETAs, your KPIs, your competencies, initially, when you are saying administratively and technically you are there to advise, you are part of the process. Don't confuse the two. I want to assist you. The panel is appointing. You are the receiver and initiator who should advise properly as you are going to hand over the documentation to whoever you're going to give to. And you must present to whoever you're going to present to. Agree. As your participation, you are the initiator of the process. You received nominations. Who did you give to the nominations? If you are saying you did not participate.
I gave them to the minister, not the panel, because I didn't know the panel.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. The other thing I want to ask you, Nguban, is that do you know Ntate Luvuyo Makas?
No, I don't know him.
Is he an employee to the department?
I don't know him. The department comprises of a large number of employees. Maybe. but I don't know him.
If he dealt with SETAs, why would this possible that you don't know him? Because he's the one who approached a chairperson.
Sorry, can you repeat?
If he is the one who was dealing with the SETAs, one of the minister's advisors, does he not work at the department?
I don't know Mr. Marcus as an employee of the department. In fact, I heard for the first time when I read about it.
Okay, thanks for that. Chair, I think we should also agree that we should also summon Master Lovio Makasi to come and clarify his role onto the process of the SETAs. I want to get to another question. And that if, like the minister could have alluded, the minister said that the panelists are volunteers. Were you going to volunteer?
That we didn't even get to talk about those processes. So, and it is for that reason when I heard what was said that people were not going to be remunerated, and you'll see in my letter, I say to the minister, whatever the intention may have been for advocates, whether it's a paid brief or it's a pro bono or a pro amico brief, you can't do it without the involvement of the attorney. That's why I was addressing that issue, so that whether remuneration or no remuneration, which we never got to, it's immaterial for me, for purposes of whether my appointment was finalized.
So thanks. I'm asking this because we need to establish as to when the minister could have said to us previously that the volunteers, the panel will be volunteers. And I know that for the fact you never participated. I'm asking you because if it was volunteers, there was not going to be a need for us to even attain to appoint because we are doing the work voluntarily. So thank you for that. Ndadong, my last question, because the minister is not there, most of the questions are for the minister. Did you take leave of absence when you're performing your duties?
Maybe let me clarify that the Gazette was issued on the 19th of November, 2024. So there is December time, which we went on leave, but I came back on the 3rd of January. That period is the period when, after the Gazette was issued. So during December time, was the capturing of the nominations. I did not take any leave except that period of December, which I came back, I think, on the 3rd.
Thank you, Chair. I'm fine.
Thank you. Even if you're saying you're not fine, your time was done. So, just one or two questions, and then I'll come back to you. Just one or two questions. Honorable Souls wants to ask a question after the time had expired. So allow us to ask first, Honorable Souls. Latenguban, you are an employee of the department. Earlier on in the meeting, I indicated that I received an apology from Ms. Rulane Ngwenya, who indicated that you guys in the department had received an email from the Director General's office indicating that one, the meeting was postponed, two, I don't know what happened. So do you have this email from the Director General's office that confirms the claims by Ms. Rulane Ngwenya?
I did receive the email, but I think it is important for its content to be read for the committee.
Yeah.
I have about 4 emails. I'll read all of them.
On this specific day? Okay, let's hear.
The first email is dated 15 July 2025. Dear senior managers, please note that the Office of the Honorable Minister has forwarded an apology and they will not be attending the Portfolio Committee on Friday. Therefore, we are not required to support the Minister. Respectfully, full stop. The second email.
So this email comes from where?
Oh, sorry. It comes from the Chief Director in the Office of the Director General.
Okay.
The second one, dear senior manager, this one is dated 15 July, okay. Dear senior managers, may you please be on standby as the portfolio committee has requested our honorable minister to reconsider her apology of not attending the session. Senior managers will be informed accordingly following the honorable minister's response to the portfolio committee. I hope you find that in order, respectfully. Full stop. That is the second one.
From the same person.
Same person.
I'll give it to you.
The third email on the 17th of July, 2025. Dear senior managers, the office of the DG wishes that senior managers use their discretion to the situation we are finding ourselves in. Please note that the portfolio committee has not accepted the honorable minister's apology of not being able to attend the portfolio committee. They have requested the honorable minister to reconsider it as they deem her appearance more important. The office of the DG is still waiting for guidance. The office of the DG is still waiting for guidance from ministry. Please note that the portfolio committee has followed up this morning regarding the presentation for tomorrow. In that regard, I've requested the parliamentary liaison officers in the office of the DG to engage with the parliamentary liaison officer in the office of the honorable minister. Noting the request, it looks like the meeting is sitting tomorrow. May I humbly request the senior managers to make travel arrangements for any eventuality. I hope you find the above in order, respectfully. Then the last email.
What time was that one? The one we've just read?
12:31.
Okay.
Oh, the second last, not the last one. This one, 14:58. Dear senior managers, please note that it has come to the attention of the DG's office that you had received personal invitation to appear before Parliament. Therefore, the process that the office of the DG was coordinating was the normal process of supporting the honorable minister. Please note that you are individually liable to honor your invitation. Kind regards.
What time was that?
14:58. The next one, 15:01. Dear senior managers, please find confirmation that you are expected to attend the portfolio committee tomorrow. This one is directed to myself and Roland Ngwe, DTG. Then the last one, it came last night at 23:15. Dear my esteemed DTG, please note that it has come to the attention of the office of the DG that individuals were invited and the office of the DG was not copied. The individuals should honor their invitations to the portfolio committee. I hope you find this in order. That one was sent at 23:15. I think it also follows the inquiries which were made by the DTG, Mr. Mvalo, and the DTG, Ms. Roland Ngwe, asking as to what should we do. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Very helpful. So, so on the meeting of the 30th, a question, I know Honorable Low asked it, but I'm asking it different. A question was asked to you that do you know anything about this process of the SETA chairpersons? You were, I think, number 3 in answering that question. And you had said no. Why did you say no?
I did not say no to mislead the committee. I might have misunderstood the question, which I thought it to be asking me about my involvement as a panel member. And in case I misunderstood the question, I would humbly apologize if that was interpreted, if that is how it was interpreted. But I thought the question to be asking me about my role in the process.
Okay. At the time, we did not know that you are a panel member. It's okay. We will we'll discuss as the committee what we do. I think we've had yourself. So, Advocate Terry, you said you were so prior to you being approached. Mr. Makasi called you and asked if you are willing to assist in this process. Did you ask in what capacity was he making that inquiry?
Sorry, Chair, you're saying prior to getting the email from the minister? No, I didn't ask, Chair.
Okay. So maybe you thought it's a normal way of the briefing parts that you guys sometimes do as lawyers and advocates.
You'd know, Mr. Makasi has operated in the within the public institutions of government. So I didn't see anything untoward about him saying, would I be willing to assist? Or even asking why is he asking me, or what would be his role? It wasn't an issue.
Okay. Before we close, you had a follow-up, Lonzi, let's start with you. It must be quick, less than a minute, a follow-up.
Yeah, no, it's a follow-up, Chair. Just that my time ended back then and I wanted to be disciplined and stop. So that I'm not removed by bouncers. Just the last one, Mr. Mabuza. Why didn't you respond to the letter from the minister appointing you to be in the board? Especially because both you and I have established that this has never happened before. It's not. So when you suggest in your letter that you didn't respond because this is your everyday work, you've been doing this since 2011 and all of that, but here is your minister, your employer, in bracket, in inverted commas, as you put, sending you a letter, appointing you to such an important panel. But not only that, something that you say to us has never happened before.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you respond to that letter?
Sure. Mr. Nguban.
I did not write any acceptance letter. I'm not sure if I acknowledge receipt, I can check that. But I viewed my appointment as part of my normal duties. I did not write any acceptance. That one I can confirm. But because I expected that there will be continuous engagements between the minister's office and myself, and then I expected that I'll be notified, then we'll work.
Okay. Honorable Souls.
Advocate, thank you very much for educating us on the technical difference between lie and mislead. Based on that, I would like to ask now, did the minister mislead the committee when she said that you have been appointed chairperson of the panel and you did not attend the meetings?
Thank you, Chair. Just to repeat again, yes, I did say earlier. Remember, one of the three things that I say happened. One of them was misleading, so I say yes.
Also, she did mislead the committee. Thank you.
Khakhau.
Thank you, Tate Mutau. I think you've been clear with everything. Tate Mabuza, Ngubane, just quickly, I'm going to say 5 things and I need you to help me understand if my understanding is correct. So you suggested to the ministry that there must be, for the first time, a panel that must be set up instead of the process that was followed in the past, a selection and evaluation process. After that, the minister then appoints you and Advocate Mutau, but you as chairperson of the panel that you recommended to her that must exist. The minister gives you a letter, she appoints you, but you don't respond to that letter because you think it's normal, because it's part of your duties, which is a new set of things that you recommended to the minister. But then you then process the applications of the SETA boards. And after you process them, you send them directly to the minister, CCing the Director General and not to the panel.
Thank you.
That you said the minister must appoint. Is this, do I understand correctly?
I think the honorable member does not understand it correctly. I only got the appointment letter appointing me. I was not informed who other panel members are. Secondly, when I was submitting the nominations, I was submitting them on the minister's request. I couldn't send them to any other person.
Ngubane. Mkhize, sorry. Where do I start?
Yeah, start with the junior so the senior will sweep. And Ntate Ngubane, just for me to be well grounded on the case you're advancing here, I'm asking if by virtue of participation in the process, because you did participate, but by virtue of conducting your own normal duties, we have agreed on that one. So my follow-up question on that one, would you say you had zero influence as to who gets appointed in the end by participating through your normal duties?
Not at all.
No influence?
Not at all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ntate Ngubane.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson. Advocate Mutau, the meeting of the two gentlemen, Advocate Mr. Luvo Makasi and the other one. Yes, so now. Are you aware that Mr. Luvo Makasi previously in the Department of Water, as well as in the Department of Minerals and Energy, the guy was in charge there, or the guy was the advisor to Minister Nomvula Mokonyane during the war on leaks, and he was on the newspaper about a whole lot of scandal. Are you aware of those articles? And did that came to your mind when you met him, or it didn't at all?
I'm aware of Mr. Makasi's involvement in the water department and the Minister Mokonyane. I'm not aware about the minerals, etc. But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't an issue at the time. Because you recall I said, when someone asks you whether you were prepared to assist the minister with the process, say yes, you're willing to assist, because you know your involvement is guided by ethics. There must be an attorney, I must be told what are the terms of reference. There is going to be an independent panel that's going to be appointed. I'm assuming it's people with different expertise that need to be brought to bear for purposes of appointing this SETA board. So I didn't understand him to be involved post gauging, I think, my appetite to assist the minister. That's not the impression I got. Whether he, maybe put differently, I didn't even get an impression that he was going to be part of the panel. Because when we were talking about the panel, we were talking about independent people that were still to be approached at the time. So it wasn't an alarm, or it didn't raise an alarm. If perhaps I understood the question.
Oh, thanks, Ntate Ngubane. I did make mention of your role and your KPIs of lately, and I was a bit. I did mention it in a way that you should all consciously understand, and as I understand how governance operates. So my question comes that after you've submitted the nominations to the minister, in between that period, were there any technical advice you gave, or was there any request that you could have received from the minister? You never did anything. You just submitted nominations after you said there. You know, I'm asking this, Ntate Ngubane. If indeed, as you said in your letter, this is your competence, you would have known better to say that any conclusion of a process that regarding you should either technical advice or give administrative directive, because you've had more experience compared to any other director. So from the process of submitting nomination, what was your therefore role from there, or you were just not bothered, you just submitted?
Maybe let me indicate that the administrative role that I perform also includes writing the submission for the minister's approval. I did receive the list of the nomination, the list of the 21 names or candidates that needed to be appointed. I did receive those.
Okay.
It's Chief Director, SETA Coordination.
The time is past now. Let's do this, colleagues. Let's thank you, Mr. Ngubane and Advocate Matau, for coming. We really appreciate taking time. There was something that I can't remember who asked you the question. If when they asked if you think there's a possibility that you will be targeted and fired at work, I can't remember who said it. Desiree. I hope that doesn't happen. We do have sometimes people appearing before the committee, and when they leave here, whether it's at the TVET college, at the university, when they get home, they are being targeted by institutions. I hope that doesn't happen. It's one thing that, as this committee, we're going to fight that mentality where a student leader coming from a specific university comes present before the committee, shows us pictures of where the university is making them sleep. And then when they get back, the university targets that student or a worker who exposes such things. And when they get back, the institution targets them. It's something that we're going to fight with everything we have until we win it. We still have others who believe that they are in charge of the system and they'll use their institutional autonomy to do as they please. But it's something that we'll fight with everything we have. That will include some of the drastic changes that we would want to propose on the Higher Education Act, on the CET Act, on the Skills Development Act, because it can't be business as usual. When we have very learned people, advocate, who use these acts to suppress dissent, it can't be. We don't like dissent. We want systems that works, almost automatically to advance the plight of our people. But in order for us to get there, there are certain disruptions in the system that must be exited, and we're going to do that. So we wish you all the best, colleagues. I know Honorable Zondo wanted us to ask that you come next week. I don't think it will be necessary. I think we've exhausted. You have said what, in essence, at the bottom line of your letters is that you were not, you did not execute any duties as panel members. And I think that's the bottom line that you are giving us. But we want to thank you there. We will give the minister, we are people who believes in the law. The minister was invited. We will invite her. We've sent a letter inviting her to Tuesday. I had applied for Tuesday. The House chairs approved the day for Tuesday. So the meeting will sit on Tuesday. Because we must also give the minister, in law, you call it Audi, the right of reply. So she must come and set the record straight. Like I said, I can't read the letter into the record now, but she has written to us. Also, when we asked her to respond on the 25th of June, so we do have her response. So she will come and indicate her side together with we're going to write to the others, Ngwenya, Simane, and Solani. We're going to, and the DG. The DG is in China. I think he should be back by Monday. So there's no problem. He will be here on Tuesday. And the DG will clarify the letters that come from the office, creating confusion on whether we've cancelled our meeting or not. So we will, I'd forgotten to say the acting DG was here on Wednesday. And yesterday afternoon sent us an apology that he can't come because he's got a long-standing commitment. The department, and we'll talk to them on Tuesday, they've got this tendency of creating a crisis as if we convene the meeting at 9 a.m. on Thursday for Friday. We never do that. We write to them on time. When we convene meetings, normal meetings, we give them a program for the quarter. So they know that on the 19th of August, we are meeting X, Y, and Z. The department will sit and say, and write to us on the 18th of August and say to us, we had a long agreed program. They write to us a day before when they've had the program in June. So on Tuesday, we'll also speak to them because it just cannot be, because they're creating a problem in the system. On Tuesday, when we meet, there was a letter anonymous letter we had received from the department where an employee or somebody who's purported to be an employee of the department indicated to us that she was coerced in being part of the panel, and she refused. And she's afraid that she's going to be fired. I've written to the department. I don't know if they responded. I've written to the DG to clarify that part. So when that meeting sits next week, we will get an answer to that. But thank you very much. I think today, members, you behaved except very earlier on when Honorable Khakhau wanted to speak about, you see, when we give you time, speak there. I don't want to, when I give you an opportunity to speak on way forward, you want to bring in your political, it's not going to happen. We're going to run our meetings with discipline and all of that. So we will meet on Tuesday. Want to thank you, members, for sticking to what we asked you to stick to. You have not, I know Honorable Lonzi sometimes, he likes saying that it's my 15 minutes. I can ask him what tie they are wearing. At least today he did not do that. Stuck to the script of asking relevant questions on what was on the table. I think we'll take it, like I said, we've concluded earlier on when legal guided us on other matters which we've closed. So we're not going to submit any supplementary, Desiree, any supplementary to or supplementary documents to a political party submission in the ethics committee. You are on your own there. We're still busy with our process this side. We're not going to do a political statement by going to a court just because some deputy minister was fired. That was on a lighter note. But having said, colleagues, want to thank you. Yeah, no. That's my view as well. That if it makes Honorable Khakhau to bring back, to bring out Gogo Zile, maybe let's fire another one. Maybe let's whisper to the president to fire to fire John this time. That was on a lighter note. Members, thank you very much. This meeting is now adjourned. Thanks. We had prepared